In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to use the django-simple-history library to keep track of all your historical records for your database. This video assumes that you've already followed the instructions here to install the library and also configured it. Let's go over to VS Code and show you guys how this works. Assume you have a simple Django project ready. In your models.py, we'll create 3 models. We'll create author, article, and comment. First, let's create the author's model. In the author's model, we will have a custom table name called author. That's going to be the name that we're going to be used in our database. And we will have a name field and a bio field for the author. Next, we'll create the article table. And this article table will have a custom name called article. And it's going to have a title, content, and a many field linked to the author object. So what this means is that many articles can have many authors. Next, we'll have a comment model. And this model is going to contain a foreign key to the article and also the text. What the foreign key means here is that many comments can be in one article. So now we have the models set up. We can run a migration to create the migration file and also update our database. So now we can run a make migrations, and you can see it created 3 models. And after that, we're going to migrate to update the changes in the database. And you can see it made the updates in the database. Okay, next we can start creating the historical table by using the simple history library. So to do this, you would import the historical records and historic foreign key class from the simple history.models. And after that, in each of your models, you would add this line here, history equals to historical records. And in this case, I customized the table name to be author history. And same thing with the article. I added this line here and had a custom name called article history. And since we have many fields here, and I want to keep track of the many fields history as well, so what I will do is I will add an extra field here called m2m_fields and set this equal to the list of many fields that you have within this model. In this case, I only have one many fields, and that's authors. Therefore, I only have one item in this list. So next, in the comments, I will do the same thing. In this case, I made the table name to be comment_history. And also I want to keep track of this foreign key here. So instead of models.foreign key, what we will want is we want to use historic foreign key. Okay, so now the table is all set up. What we can do is we can make another migration. And as you can see, when we made the migration, we altered field article on comment. That's because we changed models.foreign key to historic foreign key, and we created 4 tables. 3 of these tables are just the historical records for our object, and then the 4th table here, historical article_authors, is the history record for the many fields that we have. So once we have this, we can just migrate. That apply seemed to be successful. So after that, we created all the tables. So now if we look at our database here, let me just refresh. And as you can see, the tables, we have authors table, we have author history. And if you look at the author history table, this is created by the django-simple-history library. There's some extra fields in here. For example, history ID, history date, change reason, and the history type, history user ID. And I think the most useful information here would be history date. because from this history date, we can figure out the object state at this specific time. For the many-to-many fields table, we have this table called quick start underscore historical article underscore authors. This is automatically generated, and that's why you see this long, the name is a little bit long. So next, I'm going to move on to the tests.py to write a few tests to demonstrate how to retrieve historical records for many-to-many fields and foreign key fields. So the first thing I'm going to do is import the time zone module from Django utils, since we're going to be explicitly stating what our timestamps are at each stage when we create an object. And then we're going to import all the models that we have. From there, I'm going to create a test case with the function called test foreign key relations. In this test, I'm going to test out foreign key relations. I'm creating an article object that has the title article 1 with the content, this is article 1. And then a comment that links to article 1 with a foreign key. And the text for that comment is, this is a good article. And then from here, I'm putting a timestamp on it. At time 0, we've created 2 objects. After that, I'm creating a second comment. Same thing, linked to article 1. And then the text will be, this is a bad article. And then also going to put a timestamp on there called T1. Now, we're going to use the as of function that's in the django-simple-history to retrieve our article from timestamp 0, T0. So we're getting the history of the article as of time 0. And after that, we can get all the comments for article as of time 0. And looking from above, we know that at time 0, we've only created 1 comment. And that's why you see that I did a assert equals to be the length of our result, which is comments, should be 1. And after that, we can make an assertion to double check that the text for that comment is, this is a good article, which, as you can see from above, matches up to our first comment that's being created. After that, let's also get the history as of time 1 for our article. And we know that at time 1, we've created a new comment. So at T1, we have 2 comments. So we're asserting that we have 2 comments here. And then from there, we're also asserting that at index 0 of our result, the text value, which is the comment text, should be, this is a bad article. And then at the first index should be, this is a good article. And let's assume that our article title has been updated. And it has been updated to article 1 updated. And we'll save that. And then put a timestamp on there, call it T2. And then let's try to get the title for our article as of T2. And you can see that when I made an assertion here, I'm checking that the article as of T2, the title for that should be article 1 updated. So now if we run this test, as you can see, it all passes. Next, I'm going to write another test, and this time I'm going to test out the many-to-many relationships for historical records. So again, I'm going to create an article and a comment, and then this time I'm going to also add in an author. Once I created this author, name is Jack, bio is I like to write, I'm going to add this author to the article so that they are linked. So the article and the authors are linked. And I'm going to put a timestamp on there called T0. So at T0, we've created all these. And then let's update the author's bio to I don't like to write anymore and save that. And also put a timestamp on there called T1. So let's first get the author using our article object. Once we have the author, we can get the historical records for that author as of time 1. So if we're getting the historical records as of time 1 for the author, then we know from what we did before, we know that the author's bio at time 1 should be I don't like to write anymore. Therefore, I'm trying to assert equal that author as of time 1 the bio should be I don't like to write anymore. And if I run this test again, then this should all pass. So this means that this is correct. Hopefully this demonstrates on how to use the django-simple-history library to keep track of your many-to-many relationships and foreign key relationships. And as you can see in my tests, I am using an explicit timestamp by calling the timezone.now. However, what you can do is you can use the history date in the history table as your timestamp to retrieve a specific object in that specific time. And that's it on this video. Thanks for watching. See you another time.